Well, that massive snowstorm out east is causing a ripple effect for airline travelers.
Both Appleton and Green Bay have flights into those major airline hubs. Maria Parmigiani shares the advice from local airport managers.
Weather impact here in Wisconsin seems unlikely, but the ripple effect of flights connecting from or going to the East Coast could cause issues as a winter storm hits the eastern states. Abe Weber, the airport director at Appleton International Airport, advises.
In the event your flight gets delayed or it gets adjusted, the airline can contact you and then reaccommodate you to get you on your way.
Staying connected to your airline is key during travel disruptions. So Abe says download the app in order to have the most up-to-date information of delays and cancellations.
The best suggestion really is to download the airline app. That way you can communicate with the airline, they can communicate with you, and if there's any issue with your flight, they can reaccommodate you right through that app.
Various flights out of Appleton Airport have been delayed, but nothing connected to the weather. 3 flights at Green Bay Austin Straubel International Airport have been delayed as of Monday afternoon. The airport says while local runways aren't impacted by the weather, the situation connected to is what's happening across the country. Their director of marketing and communications saying, quote, our local operations and runways are fully clear and operational. However, the air travel network is highly interconnected. When major weather systems hit the East Coast, it impacts the availability of aircrafts and flight crews needed for flights arriving and departing from GRB, end quote. The big takeaway is check your flight status on your airline's app before heading to the airport. And if there's any cancellations, contact the airline to set up alternative flights. In Appleton, Maria Parmigiani, Action 2 News.